minus 8.
Namaste, sir.
Okay, everything go?
Yeah. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shravana Manana Nididhyasana. This is the way in Jnana Yoga that the 3 steps that are said. The last time we were saying that this discussion, this idea, this elaboration, all these things is what is called as Shravana. Then he says Manana. So Bhakti Shastrani Mananiyani Tadudbodhita Karmani Karadiyani. That is 76th Sutra. Now, idea is that Bhakti Shastra Manana is different from the Jnana Shastra Manana. And Jnana Shastra, it is not the question of Manana, it's basically Chintana. That means you analyze, you try to understand, you try to go into the depth of it. That's how we try to understand the knowledge portion of it. And knowledge really requires intellect for a participation. So therefore that it is that Shravana, Manana, in the case of knowledge, it is you try to logically analyze, logically go ahead. This is what there you can see that in the Jnana Yoga text, always you can come across that kind of thing, like Brahma Sutra. There's so much of this thing. We have seen also in Patanjali Yoga Sutras that goes into the hair-splitting details of what is called as the Samprajnata, etc. All those things that are there. That is basically going into the intellectual aspect of it. But Bhakti Shastra, it is a different way. Because here, you try to transcend the intellect. That's why earlier sutra we had, Vado Navalapya. It is not for intellectualizing this particular thing. Bhakti concept is there. Love, beauty, appreciation. These are all the things which are not in the realm of intellect. It's beyond the level of intellect. That's why earlier also I said that where we transcend intellect, that's where basically this bhavana itself is there. So therefore, here it is manana of the bhakti sadhana, bhakti shastra, the mananiyani. It is try to look at what is that the bhakti aspect of it in that. What is that which is the prema aspect or the bhavana aspect that is there in that. It need not be that only the connected with the gods, connected with this and all that. It's any text, anywhere that you see, that the bhavana is something which brings about the image of the God. That's what I last time also said. Bhakti is the janani of God. God is not the janani of bhakti. So God is created by your feelings. Mother is created by the feeling. Father is created by the feeling. Guru is created by that feeling. So these are all the things which are important. Now, in order to concretize that aspect of it, you have to know manana. That's why Bhakti Shastrani Mananiyani. That means to say, now that one manana takes to Chintana. That means analyzing it about all those things. Whereas here the manana will have to take you to bhavana. Bhavana is where that you are just being with that feeling. And when you question into the bhavana, when you come to that, then you don't see the right and wrong, good and bad and all that. There is none of these things are ever. You are in a wonderful state of bhavana. That's a satisfying state of bhavana. Bhavana itself is satisfying. So I give the example of, my granddaughter coming and saying that, let's play hide and seek and then tell me where to hide. She asked me. No, enjoy that feeling and live that feeling. That's what is very important actually. And this is what is manana will take us to bhavana. So in Jnana, in Raja Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. You try to establish that, which is supposed to be samadhi. Whereas here, in the case of manana and then bhavana is equivalent to samadhi. You are in that bhava state. Mirabai was in that bhava state. And Tukaram was in the bhava state. So once you are in that state, then there is nothing else that you wanted. So he says that Bhakti Shastrani Mananiyani Tadodbodhita Karmani Karmanyani. Any activity that you do, any movement, any creation that you do, it's only to see that how that can be embellished, enriched. A very simple idea that you can see that you spend time in doing all those things. Small little simple act. Like the other day that we have seen, the Yashoda character. How many movements that she was doing in the dance, which is normal, simple day-to-day activity. But in the process, that the way that Mahi was doing it, it was like that you see the presence of the God there, Krishna there. So much so that it was so beautifully organized that she did all those things and then finally she fed him. And after that, she puts him into sleep by playing the sleep song and all that. After that, beautiful effect are created, like for example, light and all that dimmed down. And then it was just as if she has culminated her portion as the Yashoda, the mother of Krishna. And it was so super that everybody clapped. When everybody clapped, immediately my said, don't clap because he's sleeping. This is so real feeling that was there. That means she created the image Krishna. Like that, we had another program. 2 times I've seen that. This is what is on Sita. And that dance program was on the, it is called as the Janani Janaki. And then, so in Janaki character, there is another dancer. Her name is Veena Seshadri. She's very close friend of mine. She invites me for every time for all this program. So she was doing that. All that she had was one small little dupatta. And dupatta she could create like a child, dupatta itself she could create like a sword, all those things she was making with that dupatta. That means you get that feeling in that. So taduddeshata karmani karniyani. You creative aspect of it. And it's nothing to do with the logic. It has more to do with the feeling that you develop. What you're doing, by doing what that you can get that feeling. Taduddeshata karmani karniyani. That way, what happens is we build that whole bhavana behind it. So, and once that bhavana is there, that's important. That's what is the next sutra, 77 sutra. Says that. Yeah.
Now there is a emotion created and a beautiful moment is there.
Yeah.
But later on also we may be continuing that.
Right. Feeling.
Is that the part of the
yes. That manana should be like the way that after the Shastra is over, you still continue to hover with that feeling. For hours together, days together, months together, it is like that. It never goes away so easily. You hold on to it, or it holds you. That is what is the way the background. It will burn on. That is the kind of thing, the Shastra. Mananiyani. That manana, exactly the same concept which I have been telling about. We say the sound om, ahata, that means we produce the sound. If you from the heart, if you say that Om, after the finishing of Om, it will be ringing in your within. This is what is actually Anahata. Anahata is not that you mentally say Om, it is not that. You stop saying it, but it continues to ring. And that's what the sun sets, but in spite of it, that sunlight is there, twilight is there. So that is the idea. So this way, essentially what we need to have is that Manana is the one which extends the whole feeling further ahead. So Bhakti Shastrani Mananiyani. Tadodbodhita karma. He says that try to develop the activities which are Udbodhana, which tries to enhance that kind of an activity. I remember one time that a friend of mine in Houston, that's so fun. He came from McAllen, Texas. And then he came where I was having send off dinner kind of a thing. And after he took me to Madras Pavilion. He said, order every food. I said, what is this? You know that I just now had food. Program. Then you eat it or not or something. It's not important. But just to spend time with them, offer you all this. That's what makes me joy. So there's joy in doing those things. That means you don't count at intellectual things like, for example, about is it a waste? How much cost is there? I've already eaten. Why are you giving me all this? Cost does not involve. You rise above the cost. Actually, that's the idea of prasada. When we say Bhagavad Prasada, prasada can be a small little piece of this particle of kumkum, or maybe some vibhuti or something like that, or maybe nice wonderful food they give you. Anything is prasada. That means to say the quantity or quality and all those things do not matter. You rise above that level. That's what is the idea. He says that Bhakti Shastrani Mananiyani, Tadodbodhita Karmani Karniyani. When you do that, then what happens is Sukha Dukkha Ichha Labha Adityatve Kale Pratikshamane Kshanarthamite Vyartham Naneyam. That means Sukha Dukkha. It's not a question of how much of suffering, how much of joy. These things, that means to say pairs of opposite. There is no more pairs of opposite. Opposite come only in the intellect comes. Here the pairs of opposite are not there. Therefore it is Sukha Dukkha is not there. And Ichha Labha. See, what is that you desire? What is that you get? In fact, the moment that desire is there, it's not even prasada. Prasada is that what you get it. If you have a desire for a particular thing, let him give me something like this. The moment it comes, Ichha, then it is not there. It's not the actually bhakti at all. Ichha. And then Labha. Labha, that means to say profit or loss, these are the things. Adi Tyaktve, Ichha Labha Tyaktve, that means to say rise above that level. It's not that you give it up, but you rise above that level. Tyakte, Kale Pratikshamani. Now what happens is that you wait, any amount of waiting will not matter. You may wait for such a long time, but suddenly it happens, then say, it doesn't matter. Because all that time, it's just, okay, it is fine. It happened in Turkey. Once this one place Adana. And then the girl invited me, so I went to Adana. And then I saw her at the airport. She came and received me. Said about, it's so early for you to come and receive me and all that. You did something. Hey, Raghuramji, that's not even an issue because I came here yesterday itself and waiting at the airport. How is that you came yesterday and waiting? I couldn't sleep, that's why I came here. The wait doesn't matter. Pratikshavarthamani. That means to say it goes on increasing every moment. And in such a way that Kshanarthamapi naneyam. Vyartham naneyam. Kshanarthamapi. Kshana is something, a time which is the minimum time. Kshana is you just wink of the eye. That's all. You can't even make half out of it. So Kshanarthamapi naneyam. That means to say you don't even split that moment into two. The moment you split anything into two, that means to say right and wrong, good and bad, okay, not okay. There is nothing like that exists. Any moment there is nothing like that exists, fine, it's okay. And that feeling is something which is very important. You rise about that. And you see that feeling It is not just only in the case of bhakti, when God. In all the activities, wherever that you do it with the help of that love, with that bhavana, it rises to that level, it takes us to that level. Now he comes to the next sutra. This is 78 sutra. Ahimsa, Satya, Shaucha, Daya, Astikatwadi, Charitrani, Pariparlidiyani. Until now, he has never touched like the way Yama, Nimas and all those things. But here first step, in fact, this Patanjali Yoga Sutra, the beginning itself, Yama, Nima starts with. But here it comes to almost like faggot. So the meaning of this particular thing is different from the point of view of Narada Bhakti Sutra. It looks very easy, but it is not like the way that you interpret in the case of Raja Yoga. What is ahimsa? Actually, himsa not being there. And when does the himsa not there? When does the himsa not being there? Is that when you are in the state of love. Actually, that's why love has been treated as ahimsa. In the case of Buddhists also talked about the same love. But only thing is they say ahimsa paramo dharma. Parama dharma. When can you have the idea of ahimsa is, normal ahimsa is that whether I'm doing himsa, troubling somebody or not troubling somebody, this is what it shows. But in the case of love, in the case of bhakti, ahimsa is something which is not the product of your thinking or product of your analysis. It is that you are in the state of love, therefore himsa will not happen. I mean, you can't even accept the himsa. The moment the love comes, then himsa will not, it's a very quality of the life itself. Life does not require himsa to take place. Life itself. There's a very strange feeling. On the YouTube, I was seeing that, hey, tiger or cheetah or something like that, hungry and then killed one chimpanzee, small a monkey, and then finished her hunger. But then now little monkey was looking for the mother. Then that wild took care of that monkey. He was always taking care of everywhere, wherever it goes. That little child, she was taking care of it. Now that child is always became the child of this particular tiger or cheetah, something like that. So that means for the hunger sake, you have food. It is food for the sake of hunger, that's all. But it is not a question of violence. The moment that child is crying, the love comes up. Actually, that cheetah, feeding that little monkey with her own milk, her own milk that she was feeding. Along with her little cups are there, and then feeding this also along with that. It was so nice to see in the YouTube. See, that means ahimsa becomes so natural part of it. The love brings about that ahimsa. It's not the question of calculated ahimsa, but the question of the ahimsa, which is the natural product of the expression of your love. Ahimsa. Then another thing is satya. Actually, what happens is that moment in love, you dissolve yourself. I is not there. And when I do not come in between, then whatever that is there outside, and then whatever that expression comes, there is no gap between that. In fact, this is Swami, I was listening to Swamiji. His talk was very good. He said that when he was giving a talk and then mic was making noise. And he said, between me and audience, mic should not be talking. I don't want mic to talk. If mic talks, not only I remove the mic, I remove the mic wall also. So that means to say there is no interference between the speaker and the listener. So I have seen something and I'm passing on that information to somebody else. I'm only like a person saying and then I'm passing on the message. Then it should go to purely without my interference with that, my adding to that. So that not adding to that is what is called as satya. You see, what becomes asatya is that I have seen something I have listened something, but at the same time, I had my own interpretation. My own interpretation. That itself becomes asatya. There is no more interpretation. Whatever that I perceive, I just pass on the same thing that is there. There is no question of I in between. As if you see what you get it, the same way that I pass on the information to get, you should be able to get that without my being present there. It's so difficult because we are all charged with our own preferences. When that preferences are not there, that's what is Satya. See how deeply it is, it talks about. So it is interaction between two, in between, whatever that world is there, and then you. I may be standing there, but I should not be giving my commentary on that. It should be free from that. This is what is Satya. And Shaucha. Shaucha,
So Satya means I is not there.
I being not there. I being not there, that's what is Satya. The moment I comes, my preference comes. What happens is, many times what happens is when my preference comes, unconsciously, unknowingly, I hate certain facts, I pass on certain facts. It may be true, but it is only half true. I may not pass on the whole thing that is there. So that's what is the way that Satya is not transferred. Because my preference is there. That's the Shaucha. Shaucha, cleanliness. Again, the cleanliness is also same thing. Like for example, a glass is perfectly clean. The glass does not appear. Glass is not there. Glass appears only when there is dirt on that. Otherwise, glass does not appear. So Shaucha is that it is so clean that transparent. It's completely transparent. Any activity that I do, any expression that I give is completely transparent. It's not, that means to say, it doesn't have any agenda behind it. My colleague, he went to bachelor those days and went to somebody's house, and then he has a small kid, and then he was taking care of the kid in his and talking to that kid and all those things. Meanwhile, the mother said, okay, you are taking care of the kid, let me go and fix the coffee. So she went inside and says, yeah, for that coffee, I need to take care of you. It was jokingly said, just to get the coffee, I need to take care of you. So that means there is an agenda behind it. Your love has an agenda behind it. Your transaction has an agenda behind it. Interaction has an agenda behind it. This is what is impurity. There's absolutely no agenda behind it, is what is called as pure. Children do not have any agenda. You see, they are very clear, they're transparent. That's what I think. Shaucha is like the child is not in a mood to go to school. So I don't want to go. No, you have to go to school, the bus will come, get ready and all that. He delays everything. Then get the socks, 2 different colored socks he gets it. No, this is not right, correct kind of thing. So she goes to get it. And then she tries to put the socks and then a right leg shoe he puts it onto the left leg, and then he doesn't go. She says, look, you are doing wrong. He's not in the mood to go. Finally, if all this excess, bus fellow will come and honk. Now you have to go. The boy looks miserable. And then the mother says to the bus fellow, Munna has stomachache, he will not come to school. She will find an excuse. Just the bus fellow, and that's okay. But then this fellow says, no, I don't have stomachache. Transfer it.
You always do.
Chup. Chup. No, I don't have any stomachache. How transparent the children are. Very unconsciously, these things will happen. So that means actually what should happen is that all these ideas, you become childlike again. All these things, when ahimsa, satya, shaucha, when these things happen, you are childlike. When you are in childlike position at that time, daya, that means to say your compassion naturally comes about. You're compassionate. That's what is daya. And then the last one is that Astikatva. See, this Astikatva is nowhere else talked about except only uh, Bhakti Sutras. And Astikatva is actually your faith in God. This is what people think. Astika, Nastika. Nastika is somebody who doesn't have faith in God. Astika is somebody who has faith in God. But if you really look at that way, Astika, Nastika, what's the difference between these two? A person who argues God is there, a person who argues that God is not there. In the normal activity, when you look at it, there is no difference between them. Both of them act same way like that. This will also shout, that will also shouts, this will also does things, activity and complains about all those things, that will also complains about everything. But then when they sit for argument says God is there, and somebody says God is not there, God is not there. That means, is it for the sake of only discussion that you have this Astika Nastika? In which case that it is not a division at all. It's only intellectual division that you have. But real Astikata is that God is there, one who says that God is there. He will take care of everything. See, and everything is being taken care of by him. If I have an Astika, that means to say, I don't have complaint about the world outside. Because anything is done, it is about God's will that is done. How do I complain about it? Because I don't exist anymore. It's all God's will. No, this is bad, that is bad. That means you are finding out fault with the God. You say that God takes care of everything, you find fault with the God. That means your Astikata is only that lip service, that's all, not beyond deep that. The story that there are no rains in the village and they wanted to do Parjanya Yajna so that the rains will happen. So they were doing all of the people that they were gathering at a place to have that yajna. And then one little girl, she goes with a huge umbrella. And people walking, suddenly they found that this umbrella is coming at the way, and then particularly the priest was said, what is this nonsense? We had no rains at all, and then we are for these things, for the rain only, that we are doing all these things. And then you are bringing the umbrella with you. And the little girl said that, look, you are going to do the yajna for the rain. So when I come back, I should have an umbrella so that I can protect myself. And then this fellow argues with her saying that, what is this nonsense? Just because that we do the puja, you mean to say that rain will come? That means, what is Astikata then? What is that your belief in God? So on one side that you say that you believe in God, but then you see that you oxymoron, that you don't even have the faith in God. It's all lip sympathy. It's all basically from the point of view of some rituals and all that, you have the God. Otherwise, you don't have the faith in God. If you really have that idea of God is there, somebody who says that, yes, I think I know that it is the God who manages all those things, the God, then how can I have complaint about the world outside? If something goes wrong, that means it's meant to go wrong, wrong from my perception. It's not wrong from the God's perception. It's right from the God's perception. A child dies, a child, God has given birth to the child, but he has taken away. Yes, that is what it is left. There is nothing like I have no complaint about it. Because that in his scheme of things, that these are the things which are working. Out of all these things are working, it is such a huge lot of scheme of things that things are working. And that having faith in that is Astikata. So somebody who has that Astikata, for him, every moment, that feeling of God's presence is that makes him feel joyful. It's not a question of success, failure will make him joy or sorrow, or achievement or not achievement will not give him sorrow or sadness or something like that. But it's the very feeling that I'm in presence of God is something which is really hated. This is what is in the case of Ram Tirtha. It's so beautiful that he went to Ganga, he was very young, 34 years old. And then he went to Ganga to take a bath. And then friends are standing outside. I said, oh, the crocodile is catching me. I'm trying to get rid of it. They were panicking. But then after some time he said, I think crocodile is winning. I'm going, bye-bye. He said, went away. Then he was never found. That was the last day. That's over. So even that also is acceptable. It's okay, fine. There's nothing like that. This way, when you can have success or failure, happening, calamities, whatever, can you give it to the God? If he wants to do it, he is doing it. You don't have to. Vivekananda's story, that beautiful event, went to see that Somnath temple. I saw the Devi's sculpture that is so beautifully carved, particularly right from not only the toes, the toe nail is also there, that, and then the pleats of the sari, and then comes to the waist, and then all the ornaments. So beautifully carved, he was appreciating everything in that ecstasy when he was on all those things. And then finally it comes to the neck, and the head was cut off, and the head was lying down there. Said, oh mother, if I were there. Immediately something hit him on his head. He came to the council and to trance, and then there Ali appeared to him and said that, what did you say? If you were there, means you could have protected me. Who protects who? You protect me or I protect you? Do what you want to do it. That's all. Don't complain about that. He said, it was so humble. Astikata is that which makes you humble. Absolutely humble. That means there is nothing that you play a role in that. Because the simple thing is you are not there. See, the very aspect of simple idea of love itself, we are dissolved. Ordinary simple love itself, that you say, okay, whatever you say is right, whatever I say is not okay. So it's very simple. In small little simple act of love itself, that ego is dissolved. You are thinking of every kshana that God's presence is there. Where is the question of I? So when I'm not there, then what happens is that whatever that happens is, I don't have any complaint. I celebrate. Every moment I celebrate. This is what is astikatva. So, ahimsa, satya, shaucha, daya, astikatva, adi. That means all these things, similar things like that. It can be many other things like karuna is there and your appreciation. All these things. Yeah, I is not there. Like, give that example of Birbal was there with Akbar, and they both went for something, and then one day that bindi was made or something other. Yeah, wow, बहुत अच्छा बना है. What a wonderful. He said, bindi is a classic vegetable, the best of the vegetable. Wow, it is healthy, this, that. The second day also they made it. The third day also they made it. Every day is there. And then he got really annoyed. So Akbar said, what is this nonsense? Every day the same bindi, horrible. Yes, the bindi is horrible. I don't know why they make every day. I'm like, Arre, till yesterday you were praising. And today you are saying it horrible. Then Birbal said that I'm your servant, not the bindi servant. Whatever you say, I follow it. I don't have to praise bindi. If you praise, I praise it. If you don't praise it, I don't praise it. How simple it is. Sun rises in the west. Okay, sun rises in the west. What do I do? That means I is not there. The idea is that I is not there. Very simple. All the troubles come with that I. So wherever that I is something which is causing trouble, recognize that. This is what is the idea of astikatva adi. Adi means all that kind of things, whatever that is there, way, you can give it to the, surrender to the God. That's what are the higher forces that are there. That's what is the way it says that ahimsa, satya, shaucha, daya, astikatvadi, charitrani. That becomes like our way of life, paripalaniya, charitrani, paripalaniya. That you maintain that kind of thing. And when you maintain that kind of thing, you start really appreciating, you start seeing the divinity in everything. Like, for example, this last time I was giving the example of what's his name? The Keshav and Swami, Ramakrishna was his disciple. Yeah, he was saying that God is not there, all the argument. And then Ramakrishna comes and asks him, but for God, nobody would have created somebody like you. Ishwar Kirana. So like that. So yeah, even there also you see that this man thought that 1 hour I argued, God is not there. And then this man comes and but for God, nobody would have created somebody like you. If we have that kind of an genuinely that feeling of God created this small little simple things you can appreciate. I see. My greatest wonder has been that small little grass plant, and I don't know what is there in the soil that it sets its roots, makes a nice, wonderful flower out of it. If in a small little grass plant you can appreciate, so many things that are there in the world to appreciate. And that is what is the way your whole world becomes one of celebration, appreciation. Sarvada sarvabhavena nischintitaihi bhagavanen bhajaniya. So bhajaniya is not that you are singing God praise at this. God is not waiting for you to praise him.
Just going back, where it is saying Paripalani.
Paripalaniya.
Here the explanation here given is you have to follow.
It's not a question of.
It is already.
Yes, it's already there. Yes, recognize that. Paripalana means basically that it is there and then you maintain the order. Paripalana is that maintain the order.
It becomes your very nature.
Yeah, it becomes very nature.
Paripalana is your very nature. Will be followed.
There are no instructions given in the Bhakti Yoga path. It's only explanation that you see the wonder there and then live with that wonder. That's all. So that's why I said the other yogas, they are the sadhana, whereas here it's prasada. Bhakti is like a prasada, it's given to you. It's not sadhana. Because that you see sadhana, the moment that you say sadhana, that means you're looking for a goal, you're looking for an end. And another thing is that you achieved it. Here you dissolve it. It's not a question of you achieve anything. Bhakti you dissolve it. So therefore it is prarthana. It is there it is prayasa and it is prasada here. There it is prayasa that you do it. That here it is prasada. You are there. You recognize that. Sarvada sarva bhavena nischintataihi bhagavanena bhajaniya. This is where I said that Shravana Manana, this becomes Chintana. When you are intellectualizing, it is Chintana. Chintana comes from the intellect. Whereas Nischintitai, don't bring it to the intellect level. I always say that intellect is a wonderful tool. I'm not denying intellect, but only because where it is to be used, you use it. Otherwise, don't bring in the intellectuals. Okay, let it be there. Nischintitai, that means to say Chintana, not bringing in the Chintana. You are the boss. You don't have to bring in the Chintana. Nischintitai, Bhagavan Bhajaniya. So when you don't bring in the intellect there, then yes, he created the rose, he created the thorns. He has the earth and he has the mud, and he also has lotus. Each has its own purpose, each has its own value. So this is what we say that Bhagavan, it means to say it is the higher force that has created all these things. That we call it as Bhagavan. Bhagavan is not that there is a particular God sitting there, but the idea is that it is the whole higher force, that's managing the thing. In fact, you are also part of that. How can you deny? How could you take yourself away from the nature itself? He is managing the nature, you are also part of the nature. I always used to say that the moment you go to the elevated place, like for example, my apartment, 25th floor, 30th floor. From there, when you look at the children, people who are there, they are like ants who are gone. So, just a little bit of change of your altitude, then you see that they are all ants like people. We are also like ants. That is the only thing. So, The whole idea is that it's going on like that. There are so many things which are going on. So having this attitude that the idea of that looking at everything from the point of view of that there is a plan, creator who is doing all those things, and then you are an observer watching that. And this is what is bhajana. It's not that you are actually doing the bhajana of the Lord. It's you see this whole thing as a play of the Lord. Everything is a play of the Lord. Whatever that happens in front of you, behind you, what happened earlier, what happens today. When you do that way, then what happens is that you are also part of that God's activity that's going on. You also do that kind of thing. So, but so beautifully said that for a long stretch of life, we are here about 50, 100 years. That's a small stretch. And how many people like that lived and gone, finished, over. And we'll also come here and then go. And then we make this such a huge thing. I achieved, I did this thing, I got this thing, I need recognition, I don't have to be recognized. People victimize me, or we are victimized. All these things, for what? There are a lot of people who come and gone and all that. It's like that. Whatever that we are doing, for that moment, if we can really feel that moment that is joyful, blessed, and celebration, that means to say, yesterday I was reading another text where it says that remove yourself from here in between. God Himself has become you. That universal consciousness, what you call it, becomes you. Why He's become like me? By becoming you, He gives an expression of Himself. He expresses Himself, He gives that. He becomes a flower. He becomes a flower to express himself through the flower. And that's what flower expresses. And the flower expresses whether it is in this people, where the people appreciate it, or in the forest. It doesn't matter. It gives an expression of divinity that is there. It doesn't matter, somebody has to appreciate it. Same way about the peacock. It has nice, wonderful flower. Peacock feathers are there. Somewhere in the forest, it just unfurls the whole thing and dances beautifully. Who is there to appreciate the beauty of the dance or something like that? Nobody is there. But it unfurls. Not because somebody appreciates it. Only in the case of human being, because that ego is there, the I is there, we want appreciation. And we immediately recognize that. You see, small children can see that. He falls down. I'm sitting there and somebody child is there, falls down. First thing is that he look around. The mother is there. Mother is not there. Then he looks at me. Because I'm there. Father's friend, uncle, or something like that. But I'm busy in my book. I know that, but I did not get it. It's useless. So he just continues to play. Half an hour later, his mother comes. I fell down. When did you fall down? Yeah, just now I fell down. Okay, now no major, okay, go ahead, play. The same thing, if the mother would have seen him and falling down, next half an hour he'll be crying. Wants an attention. So we seek an attention. We seek appreciation. We seek this. So bhajana is that where it's not a question of I seek an attention, not a seek. I just do it. I just do it. Like an expression of divinity that I come out. This is what is the idea. Sarva bhavena nischintaihi bhagavanena bhajaniya. You can see the play of the divinity, everything that is there. There is one book written by the dancing of the woolly masters. Actually, it's from the Native American literature.
Dancing of the
Woolly Masters, V-U-L-I, Woolly Masters, by his name I forgot. So in that book, it says that the whole creation is activity is nothing but the dancing. The dancing of holy masters means actually gods. God's dancing that's going on. Take it that way. Then it is what is God's activity. Countries fall, countries rise, rivers fall. See, look at the way what is happening. In the sense that the star that you see, by the time that we see, the star is already extinguished, finished. It's not there anymore. A star can come and go, a planet can come and go. What are we that we are? So it's a part of continuous movement that's going on. Enjoy that, being in that joyful state. That expression of joy is what is the expression of the divinity. That's why we've given the name of God expression as Satchitananda. That moment of existence that is there, reality, that's what is Sat. It's not that how long it will be there. Like a soap bubble lives for a fraction of a moment. That fraction of a moment it is enjoying that Sat existence. And Chit has its own shape, its own property, its own reflections of it. So all that is Chit aspect of it. Even the soap bubble has such Chit and then Ananda. It spreads the joy to the people. You get the joy. It freely floats in the air. So Satchitananda is there even in the soap bubble that you can see. You don't have to go into a temple to find out the God in the image. Yes, the stone has that property of nicely getting that shape and all those things, but it is there. But somebody can see that and then he'll be enjoying that. The Michelangelo's story there. He asked the fellow, why do you need this stone? And then he said, I'll show you. And a year later that he made a nice, wonderful sculpture out of that stone. And then he asked the shop fellow to come and wow, so beautiful. Where did you get this? He said, I did not get it. The stone that I've taken from you, I made this sculpture out of it. Oh, he could not believe. He said, this was there in that stone? Yes. Man, you are extraordinary. He gave a beautiful explanation. He said that I saw this image in the stone. And then the image is crying, saying that take out all the overburdened stuff so that it can manifest. I did not do anything. Whatever that is unwanted, I removed it so that the nature comes out. So divinity is always there. Only thing is whatever that is overburdened, let remove it. Then you can see the divinity. This way, recognizing this all the time is what is called as sarvada, sarvabhavena. Any activity that you do it. Like this fellow comes running. You see the love that he has and the concern, want to be part of it. Now he's sleeping. Beautiful. Sarvada, sarvabhavena, bhagavanena bhajaniya. That you see the divinity in everything. Sakirtyamanaha shigrameva avirbhavati anubhavayati cha bhaktan. This is what is 80th Sutra. Sakiryamagena. Then Shigrameva. When you start looking at these things in that way, then you see the appreciation in everything. You see the glory of in everything. And then Shigrameva avirbhavati, which is it emerges out of it. Avirbhava means that it's coming from nowhere, it comes up. You'll be able to see that. Avirbhavati anubhavayati. This is the most important aspect of it. In other yogas, it is logic, this, that said, but bhakti, right from the beginning, it is the question of anubhava. It is the question of that you feel it. Anubhavayati. So bhakta is somebody who can always experience that. Why he can experience that is basically between the God and his creation, there is no difference. God is creating, God itself becomes the creation. There is no difference. But the difference is that we bring in this I in between. We separate it out. Bhakta is somebody who dissolves this I. So there is no question of the I not being, not given, they will not be there. Bhakta, anubhavayati. Every moment he experiences that. And not only that he has experience, but the people around him surrounding will also feel that experience with him. They feel that he is safe, is comfortable, and joyful. Children will automatically come to them because they see that innocence in that person, that he's as innocent as a children. So that's why Anubhavayati, he gives that kind of a feeling expression for them. And I was sitting in passport office renewal, something like that, it was there, and then Ratna was sitting in the front, my son was sitting, and then there was only 2 seats. I sat at the back in one of the chairs. In between that, there were 3, 4 rows of there. Some husband and wife were sitting, and that little child, maybe around 2-year-old child, was there standing with them. And somehow this child got connected to me and doing some signs and all that. I was reciprocating all that. And then we became so close, and then we not even connecting, just quite about it. And then she laughs. Why she laughs, I don't know. I don't even want to know about it. She laughs, I also laugh. Then that mother looked up, who are you talking to? Then this girl said, she Tata sitting there, I'm talking to you. What is that you are talking? What is that you are nothing? Say. And then my son says, I don't know, how do you connect with these children? Not that I connect, they connect with me. Because this Anubhava, see, there's one Anubhava, that is the freedom from the ego. Ego is the biggest power. Freedom from the ego, one can recognize, because that's what is the way which separates you from the world outside. Otherwise, you are like world outside. There's no difference between you and the world. We created this ego. The moment you create that ego, you separate yourself out. So this is Anubhavayati. So, Sakiryamana Shigrameva Avirbhavati Anubhavayati.
What's the difference between Anubhava and Bhava?
Anubhava is experience. Bhava is the feeling. Anubhava is that you experience. Anubhavayati. Anubhavayati, the experience, individual experiences, or the people around him experiences that. So it's experience in both the ways. That's why it is said that, in Patanjali Yoga Sutra also it says that if you are established in Satya, around that Asatya cannot survive. If you are established in Ahimsa, that Sannidho Vairatyaga will not happen. Vaira will not happen around that. It happened. So that means to say the others also experience that. And that's what is the same thing in the, I was talking about Bushudu. Narada goes there, Bushudu, I think it seems you are influenced. 5 miles radius, the forest, it's lush green. Maybe because of your tapas influence. So if you are established there, around that kind of message spreads. It becomes like that. So Anubhava, that forces you to experience. And in the case of Mahatma Gandhi, it's a very beautiful. When Gandhi was going for a round table conference in London, he said, who's that you are talking to? His secretary said, yes, who is leading the Indian delegation? Mahatma Gandhi is leading. And so, show me some of these information cuttings and all that. Please come in. Yeah, oh. So what happened was that they looked at paper cuttings and all that. In the paper cutting, his name is given Mohandas Gandhi. So you said, but then here is a different name. You said different name. Yeah, his name is Mohandas Gandhi. But you said, I said Mahatma Gandhi. Why did you say Mahatma Gandhi? Mahatma Gandhi is his title. Mahatma is his title. What do you mean by Mahatma title? I said that means he was a great soul. What great soul? And the man doesn't even know how to wear dress and he's a great soul. Why do you respect him? You say, "Hey, why do Indians respect him? Because he's a great soul." I says, Indians are anyway fools. But you don't have to call him as Mahatma Gandhi. You don't have to call him as Mahatma Gandhi. Because you're a Britisher. Then that person said, "No, sir. If you look at him, you feel like respect." Written Attenborough's movie, it is there. Then he said like that. Meanwhile, the security announces Indian delegation is coming. Gandhiji walks with a staff in his hand with half dressed. Ali comes there. And then the Prime Minister gets up. And Gandhi says to Prime Minister, "Please sit down. You don't have to get up. I'm a representative from the slave country." He looks around. Yes, everybody got up. He also got up. That's what he said. You feel like respecting. Anubhavayati. It's those that anubhava. We don't have faith in Satya. We don't have faith in Ahimsa. We don't have faith in the positivity. If we have that, it will automatically come to us. So that's what is therefore, because of these qualities that is there in the next sutra, Trisatyasya Bhaktireva Kariyasi, Bhaktireva Kariyasi. So all the Satyas that are there, Bhakti is the highest. Bhakti is one, Gariyasi, that it takes across. It takes you across. That's what is the idea. We'll go to that sutra next time when we meet. We finish that. 81st sutra. Thank you very much. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Anyone has any doubts? Online also, if anyone has any doubts?
Please raise your hand or unmute yourself. Oh, there is a chat.
So the entire Bhakti Sutra, there is no suggestion, there is only expression of the
Yes.
state,
Right.
state of Bhakti.
In fact, that's why Athato Bhakti Vyakhya Syama says. I'm doing the Vyakhya of the Bhakti. So there is nothing like you have to do this, you have to do like this. There is no instructions. Never there is no instructions.
Basically, in love, there is no instruction.
There is no instructions. It has to be merged.
In the
And you
Bhakti
do it.
Marga, the Bhakti Yoga,
Ah,
there is nothing to do.
there is nothing to do.
We-
Dissolve yourself. The doer himself is dissolved. It is a question of doing. When I am not there, God alone is there. That's it, yeah.
The world has no ego, only we have ego.
Yes, nothing else in this world has ego excepting the human being. And ego is always about the world outside. There is no ego about myself actually. Whatever that external is added on to me. I'm beautiful, I'm this, I'm young, I'm the richest person. Everything is about the world outside, nothing about me. That's why ego, I don't know why,
I am intelligent.
is also outside. Intelligent, how is proved you are intelligent? How did you show that you are intelligent? It's all about the world outside. Whatever the others take half an hour in calculations, I do it in 5 minutes. You're intelligent. It's about the world outside again. Think is about you. That's why about you is Asmita. Ahankara is about the world outside.
Some people have the ego that I am a very loving and a caring person because somebody has told them.
Yes, it's all with reference to the outside. It's all with reference to the outside world. Ego. Asmita is I do it. I'm hungry, I eat food. This is Asmita. So that's why this difference of Asmita and Ahankara is very important.
But beyond the Bhakti Marga, what are the techniques one has to?
See, wanting to do
Yeah.
is the ego.
Yeah.
So that techniques means that you want to do it. So
Drop the techniques.
drop the techniques.
We can't teach Bhakti Yoga to anyone.
We can't.
Teach Bhakti Yoga to anyone.
You can, that's why he says that Anirvachaniyam Prema Swarupam Mukha Swadharapatu. It is like the way a duck eating the food, sweet. You can't even express. But what happens is that you can make them feel that. So by these examples, by these ideas, you make them feel it. That's how you are teaching. You are teaching bhakti is through examples. And that's why Kathadishu, the stories in which that there is this Anuraga, by that you teach. And people wait for that.
Yes.
Like the other day, the dance. Dance is a wonderful way that you are actually doing the bhakti.
Keep the bhajan.
Recently, 3-4 such programs I attended. My Shilpa's class, Shilpa is my, there's another, these two sisters are there. So they had invited me for a function. And then Mahi's function. And yesterday I found out something else. So everybody wants me to. The Kala Sampada is another thing. So somehow I flooded out these dances. And the other day, this one also, we went to Mysore. Isn't it that extraordinary dance that has everywhere that expression is? It is,
How
you
to
know,
stop from the thought that I don't need appreciation? Sometimes it just drops up automatically, not in workspace also, sometimes in home space, sometimes it comes.
you don't need it.
Yeah.
A few times it happens because of habit. But then how you see that you don't.
So you realize it and
You
you
realize. Not only that, you feel that you are one with the God. See, then nothing can be added to you. How can anything be added to you? You are part of the God itself. You only overflow, that's all. Love is an overflow. Compassion is an overflow. And whatever that you do is an overflow.
But when you say ahimsa, Naradaji,
Yeah.
sometimes I feel that we are very in the ahimsa mode, but sometimes you receive very himsa dialogues from the other person. It makes you feel very low. So how do we?
See, the very fact that you have reacted to that, that means you have accepted what they said. You don't accept, that's fine.
So whatever it is said, you don't take it. If you are taking it,
Because it's others' opinion. Are you really? You are worried about others' opinion? No, you are what you are. If somebody says that I am a cheat, should I worry about it? Because I am not a cheat. See, I know what I am not a cheat. And I go by somebody else's words. How foolish it is.
so basically, somebody praises you also, you are intelligent, you don't need to believe it. You are a cheat also, don't need to believe it.
Somebody praises, says that you are great, you can see something good in me. Not many people saw that, but you could see that. I'm so happy about that.
In Bhagavatam, it is said that when Bharata was carrying the palanquin, the Raja scolded him. The Bharata actually puts the palanquin down. He says, "Are you scolding me or the body which is present?"
Yeah, right.
Because actually nothing is affecting me. So that was very powerful. How you are telling, somebody telling you cheat,
Yeah.
it's not affecting you.
So there are 10 people who said I am a cheat. So now 11 people have said cheat. The 100 people said I'm not a cheat. Okay,
Wow.
that's fine. In fact, in my first job as an engineer I joined, I was leaving that job as well. And usually my boss was so crooked at that time. And then that fellow, usually the people when sending off, they always say nice things about me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Even if the person is not right, you say,
I got this notice.
yeah, right. So, and on that leaving day, he said so many things which are belong to me. All nonsense. Everybody was really on the edge. That program should give a befitting reply. And I was there at the dais actually because I mean, sent off. So finally, my words, I got up and I said, my nice, wonderful colleagues I had, and then the cooperation, this thing, that thing, including my boss. He also helped me so much to learn about these things. I'm very happy about that. But there's one principle in my life. I carry whatever that is positive with me. The flowers. I don't carry the thorns with me.
Mm.
So people who had given me flowers, I remember. I said to my boss, I don't think I will have an occasion to remember you. The way that you felt it. I don't think I remember you.
Wow. What an interesting way of saying that.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you would have understood it also.
Right. Yeah, that's very
Somebody has asked the question. Let me see.
Not to use intellect so much is very important takeaway personally to me, Raghuramji.
yes, it's most important for me also.
How can we bring up children without ego?
No, see, children will not know what ego is if they are not given it.
If they are
So
not,
if they don't know what is ego, then they don't know how to give it up. They get the ego. Afterward, they should be shown that there is a region where beyond the ego is. Like, for example, when do we know that intellect is useless is when we have the intellect. Otherwise, people say, money is useless. If a beggar says money is useless, it makes no sense. Whereas a king like Siddhartha said, I throw away the kingdom and I go with the begging bowl. That makes a sense. Similarly, somebody has an ego, and then now you raise above that ego, you see that how wonderful it is. Somebody has ego, somebody has intellect, give up the intellect and see that how great you are. Then they will realize it. If you don't have it, what you don't have it, you're giving up is only apology. They have not given up.
It's like going to Kashi and giving up something. You don't
Yeah.
have. Should give up something you like.
Right. And not only that, people give up that and come home strictly in the hope nobody should cook that. Because
I haven't given up.
I've given up so that nobody should eat. It's a punishment to the others.
Correct. Thank you.
Very nice.